Desperation. Desperation is simply someone with limited to no choices. Desperation is someone who is at an emotional, maybe financial, weak point. And many times in this life, many times, when you're desperate, you're going to make the worst decisions. People are going to treat you the worst. And it's not going to be a good experience. So what I would share with you is focus on a life that you don't live desperate. And start emotionally. Start emotionally. Not depending on someone else for your emotional well-being. Not your service dog, not your lover, not even your parents. It's a blessing to have a dog. It's a blessing to have good parents. It's a blessing to have good friends. But I'm going to tell you this. If you love someone so much that you don't show that you love yourself by spending time with yourself and enjoying yourself, you're going to look desperate and people are going to not want to be around you because you're a burden. Doesn't matter if you're a man or girl. You have to learn by being able to do things by yourself. Okay? Because emotionally desperate people can't do anything by themselves. They have to go in a tribe. They have to go. And there's nothing wrong. Like there's certain people that are more social than others. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm telling you this. You're going to get screwed in life when you're desperate. I remember going on a car lot. And I was desperate financially because I was in debt. I didn't have good credit and I needed a new car. And I got a 25% interest rate on a new car. Why? Because a desperate person doesn't have many choices. I didn't have many choices. You often hear about the nomadic life. I tried very clearly to state to you, you're probably not going to save that much money living in your car. You can save just as much renting a cheap apartment or cheap room. The value of the nomad life is you have a little bit more options with regards to your flexibility for location and relocating based on different reasons. A little bit extra flexibility. Desperation is so unattractive, emotionally and financially. When you're desperate, you look like a loser. And I've looked like a loser. Losers don't follow men going their own way. Or they do. Real men and real women say, look, I was a loser. I failed. I made bad decisions. I put myself in a position where I was too desperate. That's why I tell you guys, your savings account is your first step away from financial desperation. Especially if you're going to do a high-risk thing. But everyone should have a savings account. And then when you're going to do something high-risky, an investment, stocks, a business, whatever, you have to mitigate your risk so you're not desperate in your trading. You're not desperate in your investing. And you can, even if your investments don't yield a return, you're still okay. Coconut's great to see you. Hey, Sam, do you feel better? Yeah, I feel good. Just a sore throat. It was a change of temperature in Florida the past couple days. But so far, I feel good. I appreciate you asking. I appreciate all your love, Coconuts. Persevere. Okay. Persevere. And I'm thankful. I appreciate you. But I tell you that the savings account gives you peace of mind that you don't have to cringe when you look at an investment that may not go the right way. You don't have to make irrational moves. When you love yourself and you're doing self-care and you're keeping your time productive, not idle, you don't depend on someone else to text you to be inspired. You don't depend on someone else to say, look, you want to go out for you to go out. I can't stress to you enough how bad you look, and I've looked when you're desperate. And it's going to happen in life. because we make mistakes and we position ourselves wrongly, because part of it is just immaturity, part of it is ignorance, not knowing, and the other part of it is not being aware. You know, I often say that the difference between a laser and a light is focus. When someone focuses too much on one thing, a person, an investment, whatever, and they're obsessed with it, you go to another dimension beyond focused, and now you become obsessed, and now you're desperate. An obsessed investor is desperate, and an obsession with someone else is desperation. You may think you're focused, but you're obsessed. There's a difference. And you're going to lose. Because the energy is so concentrated, it's deadly. You know, like, you got to have a level of concentration to get anything done. But if alcohol is too concentrated, you're going to destroy you, kill yourself. Most things in life are diluted. You need a little bit of dilution. You need a little bit of balance. Desperation is so out of balance that you are going to lose. Most things fail because they're top heavy. Top heavy. Top heavy means that there's so much weight on the top that's going to tip over. You're putting so much weight on someone else bringing you joy, it's going to tip over. You're putting so much weight on one source of income, it's going to tip over. Now, can life tip over even when you're balanced and you're of sound mind, you're trying to do everything properly? Sure. There is no guarantee of life. There's risk management of life. Kathy, hey Sam, how was your day today? Overall, positive. My sunroof still didn't come in. It's been about a week since I ordered it. So I got to take it on, take it off every time I drive because it broke the other week. But other than that, I would say good, warmed up a little bit. So I appreciate you. I appreciate Coconuts coming in. How was both of your days? Bryce, greetings, brother. Bryce from the hospital, brother. Great to see you, man. Guys, I was desperate in the emergency room. Why? Well, I let myself go and then I didn't try to get back on track the right way. Desperate people go from one extreme to another. Desperate people go from obesity to working out like a madman. And it's understandable. Why? Because we're desperate. Okay. And the hospital will slow you down and make you focus. Now, it's good because the hospital will make you urgent. When you're in a hospital, anyone of sound mind, you never want to go back. So that's good. That like fire under your ass. And it'll also tell you that, you know what? I'm human. I can be broken. You know, that's not to tell you it's a good experience, even though it's horribly painful to be broken emotionally, mentally, physically. Why? Because you know you can be broken. I think there's something wrong if you think you can't be broken, if you think you can't die, if you think you can't get hurt, if you think you can't be humbled, because it can happen. But I think you'd be foolish to live your whole life timid. You got to balance it. And so when you get out of the hospital, you're going to be desperate never to go back, but you're also going to be well-tempered, well-balanced in knowing if you go too extreme, you'll end up right back in the hospital. Desperate people lose. They lose their health, they lose their wealth, they lose their emotional state, their mental state. Desperate people go on date night. Date night is for the desperate marriage. I heard someone, I think it was on Dave Ramsey today or yesterday, saying that, oh, me and my girlfriend, we're not on the same page. We got to go to pre-engagement counseling. Let me tell you this. If you go into pre-engagement counseling, you're desperate to make something work. Because you didn't even get married yet, you're going to counseling. That's crazy, in my opinion. In my opinion. Love to you again, Coconuts, Kathy, and Bryce. Thank you for joining. So what I can tell you, guys and girls, okay, is that you're going to be desperate times in life. You're going to fall head over heels. You're going to be top heavy for someone. You're going to be obsessed with an investment and you're not going to be balanced in your multiple source of income, your savings account. You're going to have everything all bunched into one, no separation. Your focus is an obsession, not good. You're going to get obsessed with Chick-fil-A. You're going to get obsessed with anorexia. You're going to get obsessed. You got to balance. Desperate people lose their money. They lose everything. They lose their relationships. I don't know one person that wants to be around a desperate person because they're unattractive. They could be beautiful, but they're unattractive. You know what is beautiful? Confidence in someone who knows how to live their own life independently, and other people are a complement to their life, not a completion. Learning to work on yourself is the ultimate call in your life, self-care. Desperation is the opposite of self-care. Desperation is you need someone else to come take care of you. And that's the worst position to be in. That's the worst. Someone at the car lot has got to tell you about your finances. I'll tell you right now, if you go on the car lot and you don't know your credit score, okay? And if you don't know your net worth, and if you don't know how much the car is going to cost with a 3% interest rate, and you're just praying that the salesman or saleswoman tells you the amount you want to pay per month, you're desperate. Ignorant people are desperate. I've been ignorant. It's good to admit that you failed. It's good to admit that you've been a loser. Because if not, you're going to be, again, the men going their own way mindset. It's everyone else's fault. The system's against me. The women are against me. The scam's against me. And the reality is we were immature. We made emotional decisions without taking care of ourselves first. We didn't get a savings account separate than our checking account. We didn't get a brokerage account separate than both. We didn't have multiple sources of income. We took too much risk. Desperate people take too much risk. They go to the casino and they bet on hard eight. Okay. Don't take too much risk. Penny stocks are too much risk. In my opinion, do what you want. And when you take too much risk, this world plays with your emotions. Desperate people, they get their emotions played with very much. That's true. What are we talking about tonight? Try to live your life in such a manner that every day you're not desperate. You can change certain things in life. And it's good to realize when we hit low points what we need to change and how we need to change and what we need to do to go forward. Being in a desperate situation, it's almost not worth living. It's very strenuous, on yourself. And it makes life harder than it needs to be. Life doesn't need to be that hard. Life doesn't need to be so hard that you think you can't live without someone. If you're still in a place, guys, look, I'm going to cry, of course, when my mom dies. I cried like a baby when my dog dies. I've cried over breakups. And I don't want to lose people, but I have, and you will. But you also have to constantly condition yourself to appreciate people, love them, honor them. But you also have to realize you cannot solely depend on one person to give you everything you need emotionally from life. Same thing with your money. You can't depend on one thing to always feed your money supply. Options. When we are out of options, when we're out of choices, we have to take whatever's given to us. That's desperation. And usually that's a lack of planning. Usually that's a lack of productivity. Usually that's a lack of self-care. And we end up in this dark hole, darker than it needs to be. The world's always going to be a little bit dark. I don't know why. But I'm always trying to figure out how I can suffer less. Why? Because I want to suffer less. I look around at life, and I always see people, some living a rich life, some poor, some healthy, but I see most of society, the vast majority, still seeming, and I understand why, because I understand what life is, not in a judgment, it's observation, still seeming unhappy, still seeming unfulfilled. And does most of society look desperate? I would say the vast majority are desperate. Financially, emotionally. I do. I think the vast majority are good people, but I think the vast majority of people have a desperation. You can see it when you work with them. You can see it when they're driving. Have you ever just noticed how other people drive in a desperation in themselves? You could see it when you talk to them. They're like so needy. They're so needy, they're desperate. Guys, I'm sure you've experienced it online, even if you guys are recluse. Have you ever had a conversation with someone online and they're so needy? And you're like, damn, this person's desperate for emotional health. It's unattractive. And I've been there. So one of the things in life you're always faced with is the person in the mirror. Because really the only way you get out of desperation, is starting to work on your life. Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. Can't avoid it. The more you buy, the more desperate you may be. The more you date, the more desperate you may be. The more you trade, the more desperate you'll be. Sometimes the best trading day is no trade. Because, I remember there was time I was trading, I was like, every day I felt like I had to make a certain amount. And I was wrong. Why? Why? When you're living below your means, you have multiple sources of income, you should never be forcing a trade because you're desperate. I did that. Big mistake. When you text someone and they don't text you back and you feel like, I keep texting them, that's desperation. The best thing a business owner can be, is confident in their business without forcing the customers to come to them. It always comes back to a level of a foundation in your life where there's never this bulletproof life that can't be penetrated through the world, but there's a better life. Because there's your best life and your worst life. And if you think your best life just comes to you, it doesn't. It actually comes to a series of decisions consistently and the grace of God, some luck along the way. And then over time, you get out of desperation. Over time, you get out of begging the car dealer to give you a new car to them begging for you to come in and trade in your old car. Instead of you begging for a job, you have multiple options to work at different companies. Instead of you begging the emergency room, you're tired of waiting, you have enough nutritional knowledge that now you're an online fitness coach. And if you're going to tell me that most people ain't out of shape, most people ain't paycheck to paycheck, most people are emotionally devastated, I don't think you're observing the world we're living in. I think most people are desperate. They're losers. I've been a loser. And if you can't say you've been a loser, you're not being fair, in my opinion. You haven't experienced life, and it's good to be a loser. Because until you learn how to lose, you don't know how to win. You ever see a bad loser? It's a bad character person. Why would you want to be like that? I don't want to be like that. Again, look, have I been a bad loser when I was young? I'm sure there's been moments. But as you get older, you're supposed to develop. As you get older, you're supposed to improve. Why? Because it makes your life better, less suffering, less desperation, more maturity, more growth, more vision, more forward momentum. That's why I tell you guys, a lot of times, I know I appreciate coconuts encouraging me last night. I show up, I appreciate that. And a lot of times that's keep me in a rhythm. Keeping yourself going. Because when you get out of a rhythm of life and then you got to start up again, there's a desperation. When you're in a rhythm, the wheel, there's not that much resistance. But the extended break, the extended vacation, the extended time off sometimes makes it harder to push forward. And you're actually desperate to get out of this deep, dark depression. I know people that destroyed their mental health and their financial health by forcing to get disability. Now they can't Doordash, now they can't do anything. They have to live in poverty the rest of their life. And their mental health is worth, their physical health is worth. Now, if you need it, get it. But where's that same fire? Because I know people, you should have saw it. They became Johnny Cochran when they had to file for a disability or unemployment. They knew all the laws. They were getting this. Like I tell you, you meet a psychopath, short them 50 cents. They become an accountant. Everyone has their own journey. Okay. And what I could tell you is this. It's not necessarily about how much you have in an account. It's not necessarily about what your statue is in society, because all that's subject to change. But it's about your best life. Okay. Why? Because it's better than suffering more than you need to. That's it. I don't have this grand speech that, your life, you have to do something greater than you. It's about going to heaven. It's about, I don't even get, I think, look, guys, even if you're just from a basic self-interest, do you want less suffering? Because if you suffer less, you're going to lash out less. You're going to be more productive in society. You're going to be a better person. You know who lashes out the most? People who are desperate because they're not taking care of themselves. No one wants to be around desperate people, not their parents, not their caretaker. They wish death on them. And the people who are being taken care of, they know that. That's why either one is they want to kill themselves or they want to kill other people because they hate themselves. Now, look, guys, I understand the mindset and I don't judge it. But I say to myself, I don't want to go down that mindset. I don't want to go down that road. I try to keep myself out of that road. See, some people don't want to keep themselves out of the road. They want someone else to tell them why. Tell me why I shouldn't do it. Tell me why I shouldn't be upset. Tell me, not my job to tell you why you shouldn't be desperate. Okay. But some people want you to do that. Again, I had to look at that. It's not some other person's job to make me emotionally well or financially well. Now, look, you need other people. But what I'm trying to tell you is when you're not desperate, other people see that. And when you're desperate, other people see that. And it's very unattractive to be desperate because it shows that you are not taking care of yourself at all. You don't plan to. You don't have any structure in place. And giving money to you would be a waste. Giving emotional time to you would be a waste. I remember when I was dating a girl and she was like, and this was one of the low points in my personal failures. I became obsessed a little bit. And she goes, Sam, it's not good for us to continue because it wouldn't be emotionally well for you. You're not in a good place. Did I want to hear that? No. Was she right? Yes. Did I let it go? Yes, I let it go. It wasn't easy. So desperate people, they had a restraining order filed against them. Why? Because they can't say, I got to let it go. They don't let it go. They keep going after it. There's times in life you have to learn to be a loser. You don't win everything you do in life. And when you lose, it's good to say, you know what? I need to step back. I need to step back from this relationship, from trading, from whatever, and refocus my life. And then if you want to re-engage with dating or with investing or whatever, then you do it. But you do it with a more mature, a more disciplined, a less desperate mindset, a less desperate being. And you will be more successful the less desperate you are. The more desperate you are, the bigger the loser you'll be. And it'll show. It'll show. And that's the message tonight. I hope it helped you in some way. I'll take a hydration break. We'll go to live comments if there ain't. Coconuts, thank you again, brother, for all the well wishes. Kathy, great to see you. Bryce, shout out to everyone in the hospital. I think you get out Saturday, Bryce. I'm praying for you, brother. May you never have to go back in the hospital, brother. Take care of yourself well. And Kathy, talk to yourself well. Coconuts, masturbate well. Why? There's nothing wrong. Well, look, I tell you too, with masturbation, you know, when you don't masturbate as a male, especially if you're younger, middle age, you're desperate. And you're all about hormones. Okay. And if you're a female and if you just want companionship because you don't really love yourself, even if you look good, because I met good-looking women don't love themselves. You need someone else to encourage you, to make you feel beautiful. It's a shame. And physically, the biggest losers are literally called the biggest losers. There's a TV show that capitalizes off it. You're not always going to have some in-shape person screaming at you. Okay. Yeah, you can hire an Instagram personal trainer, but that's going to cost. And the best trainer is a trained mind, a healthy routine, a balanced diet, your best life. We're always talking about your best life. Whether it's living in your car, living in Florida, or whatever you do, flexibility, because everything changes. We're talking about getting out of desperation through stability, through routines, through flexibility, through association or lack of association. You can't associate with the desperate and not be desperate yourself, because that type of nervous energy wears on you. Challenger to welder. Damn it, you hanging in there with that workhorse stock. You went almost back up to 30, then back down to 19. Now you're back up to 22. He goes, contract delay. I saw that last week. You guys took a hit, but you're back up. At Workhorse. You sold Workhorse? Contract delay, sold Workhorse at $400K, reinvested. Well, one is congratulations, because I give you credit for hanging on as long as you did. And it was back up today. I mean, it goes up and down. What I tell you to do, Workhorse, is have a year's worth of savings in a separate savings account. Keep your job and then invest however you want. But I just shared with you, for me, I can't do hold and single stocks long, because emotionally it's just not, I feel desperate every day being subject to the stock price ticker. However, the conventional wisdom, and it has panned out, is buy the index fund, let it ride, and live below your means and have multiple sources. But if you want to do a single stock or day trading, you got to figure out what works for you. For me, I'm an in and out guy. It'll still probably take me a while to get back the losses that I had from years ago, and I don't know if I ever will, but I don't depend on my investments at this point in my life for retirement. I depend on my main job, on my supplemental income, my Social Security I'm building up, and other things. So you have to look at whatever you're going to reinvest in, Challenger, as supplemental income. There's nothing wrong. Like, say you got 400K. You're saying you got 400K. If you got 400K, to me, minimum 50K in your savings account, okay, so that you never have to worry that you're going to be destitute or desperate. If you got 50 grand, like even my man Hobo Upscale, he's got 60 grand in his savings account. If you got 10 grand in your savings account, you're never going to be desperate, okay? Because, you'll usually be okay. I think they say that $2,000 gets you out of 90% of emergencies. If you have $2,000 in a savings account, 90% of your emergencies will be covered. Okay. There are, 10% of the time where you're going to have something above $2,000, but I want you to think about this. If you look back in your life, legit emergencies, unplanned emergencies, if you think about it, how many were really more than $2,000 one time? Not many, if any. You say, I did a renovation, it was $40,000. A renovation is not an emergency. You say, I got in a car accident. Well, that's why I got health care. Okay. So, barring outside of a health care issue where you didn't have health insurance, you probably never had more than a $2,000 emergency. I can't even think of one off the top of my head. I mean, I had a car breakdown, a phone breakdown, that's about $1,000. So what am I saying? I'm saying get your emergency fund, whether it's 2K, 10K, 50K, etc. Then, let's say you got another 350K, you're basically saying, okay. Then you want to put 100K into a single stock and let it ride. You could do that. And then you put the other 200 and 50K into an index fund. Now, if Workhorse goes up and down or whatever you're going to invest in, you're not as stressed. You have emotional peace. You're not desperate. But when you're all in, sometimes that hits, but it's also, it kills you emotionally. So, again, I give you a lot of credit, and I'm very thankful that you made money. Because remember, you never make money until you sell your stock. You never make money until you sell your house. Now, you say, well, if I sell it, it'll keep going up. It's possible. But I'm just making the statement that you never make anything until you actually sell and liquidate. Okay. Because, other than that, it's just mental. Like you say, my house went up 200 grand. Well, that's true, but you're never going to get that money until you sell. You say, well, my stock went up 200%. That's true, but you're never going to get the money until you sell. So that's like a mental and materialistic thing that you have to figure out based on your age, based on your income, based on your individual circumstance. And love to you, Challenger. Though. Great comment. I hope the best for you in the future, man. Kathy, happiness is an inside job. 100 emoji. And I tell you right now, when you're desperate, you're not happy. A desperate person is someone who invested improperly in someone else, in something else, and they didn't put enough instability. I talk about getting a home base. I talk about my viewer Gail. She got a home base. I think it was a smart move for her. I think, look, you have to, at certain points in your life, you have to, and even Even in all points in your life, you have to have a level of stability. Okay. You have to take risks. There's two things in life. If you don't take risks, you never get to your dream life or a better life, your best life. What's a risk? A risk is taking a new job. A risk is moving. A risk is an investment. A risk is cutting someone off and developing new friends. If you don't take risk, you will never live your best life. However, if you don't have some stability, if you don't have a savings account, okay, if you don't have a steady source of income, okay, if you don't have at least one healthy friend, if you don't have some healthy eating habits, if you don't, even if you go to Chick-fil-A once in a while, if you don't have some stability, you're always going to be desperate. Now, you need 2 sugary Starbucks drinks. Now you need 2 Dairy Queen drinks. Okay, it's just like drugs. Drugs, you get high initially off one trade, one girlfriend. Then you need a menage a trois. Then you need to make quadruple your income. Then you need 5 Dunkin' Donut coffees. The out of balance mind is so desperate, it's not even funny. And the out of balance mind will lead you astray, leave you broke, emotionally bankrupt, and a laughing stock as a loser. And I've been there. Okay. Even if no one else have noticed, I've noticed. Okay. And it's okay to lose. I want to share that with you tonight. It's okay to lose money. It's okay to lose in a relationship. Because we all lose. And someone who tells you they don't lose has never lived life. Has never took a risk. And you lose by default. However, look, there are people that don't make any progress towards at least, look, guys, it's hard to say like who's a winner in life, who's a loser, right? Everyone has a different definition of success, but I tell you this, someone who doesn't do shit with their life, that's an L, because you just take, doing nothing. You got talents. You could be a car mechanic, but you don't do anything. Okay. Some trolls are like great videographers. They got the mental capacity to create a profile, but they don't have the mental capacity to do a telemarketing call. I don't buy it. So some people, they have talent, but they not willing to go through the pain of developing themselves. They're losers. Okay. They're losers. And you hang around losers, you're going to be a loser. Now, if you try something and you fail, you're not a loser. Okay. Why? Because that's life. We all lose in the end, obviously, right? We're all going to wherever it is after this. But don't live life desperate. Don't live life without savings account. Don't live life without steady source of income. Don't live life without going to the gym at least a couple times a week. Don't live life without going for a walk daily. Don't live life waiting for someone else to text you to be encouraged. Don't live life going from service dog to service dog. A dog is a blessing. A pet is a blessing. But if you always need a pet to make you happy, that's desperation. When your pet dies, take a year off. Get to know yourself. Take yourself for a walk. You say, how do we know most people are desperate? Most people got emergency service dogs. They're so desperate for emotion, to be loved, to be felt. So, those are my thoughts tonight. Challenger, thank you for sharing. Kathy, love to you. Bryce, I'm praying for you. Coconuts, I appreciate all that you do. Keep pushing forward, guys, one day at a time, one step at a time. Why? Because that's all we can do. You're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. Okay? You're going to have your winning days and your losing days. Sometimes in life, how do you become a winner? When you have a bad day, when you have a day you lose, you mitigate the loss. You don't try to make it up in one day. You realize that life is a marathon, not a sprint. That's not easy to hear. But as you get older, you realize consistency is more important than getting even that day or getting even, period. Learning how to lose is wisdom, but living like a loser, living desperate, it's not a judgment, but it's a harder way to live than you need to. Why make your life harder? I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to live as good as I can for me and my personal goals, and I want to try to get through life as peaceful as I can. Why? There's a better way to live, Kathy. Never rely on somebody for emotional and financial support. I totally agree. And in a modern society, in today's society, in any first world country, if you're depending on someone else for your money bag or for your emotional well-being, you're doing it to yourself and no one else to blame. You got accountability is the first step to growth. Accountability. And all of us, I've shared with you, I've been there. I'm not speaking from judgment, I'm speaking from experience. I have failed certain times where I depended on someone else emotionally. Okay. Now, financially, there was times in my life where I was in debt. I had to take whatever the card lot gave me. I had to borrow money from family members, from banks. I didn't like that. Because, guys, the banks know when you're desperate. All they got to do is run your credit report and look at your assets. When you go for a mortgage, when you go for a car loan, when you go for whatever, and they run your credit score and they look at your assets, they can see your assets. And when you take on a mortgage, you got to show, like, this is what you have in savings, this is what you have in stocks. They know, like, this person's desperate. Okay? Like I say, you know who knows you better? You know who knows you better, okay, than your, what do they call the female doctor? What's the female doctor that looks at your coochie? I forgot the name. Where's Maria at? The lab tech. I forgot. Gynecologist. You know who knows you better than your gynecologist? Your loan officer. Because your loan officer knows all your dirty secrets, okay, about your past credit history, about your current assets. I had a guy who told me I was getting married. He said, they had sex. They've been living with each other. I said, did you see her credit score? Okay. You don't know someone until you've seen their credit score. And you say, well, that's just money. That doesn't mean who they are. No, but it shows you what type of decisions they make, how desperate they've been. Like, if you pull my credit score when I was 27, you say this guy is emotionally a little bit desperate. Okay. And that's not a mindset where you want to get married or you want to be in a relationship. You don't want to wait till there's more stability, because getting married, very risky. 50% chance of failure. How do you mitigate risk and failure? Prenup. Look at the credit risk report prior. How many kids do you want to have prior? Get a vasectomy if you don't want any kids prior. Mitigation of risk. I tell you, if you want to go see desperate people, go to divorce court. Go to divorce lawyers. You think a divorce lawyer doesn't know you're desperate? That's why they make the most money. Anyone will make the most money on you when you're desperate. Why do psychics make money? Desperate people go to someone else for answers. Guys, psychics don't know much more than you. Even prophets at the church. Now look, it's good to get an encouraging word, to get some insight. But if you live on the report of the psychic, if you live on the report of the prophet from church who's banging his side piece, you're going to end up down a bad road. Okay? Because I think, Warren, what was her name? Warren Dion or whatever. She had, remember the psychic hotline? What type of psychopath calls up psychic hotline? Not anymore, maybe, but I've seen some people out there still going to psychics regularly. Still going to their pastor regularly, their therapist regularly. I know people who shop for therapists like they shop for useless shit on Amazon. Why? Because they're desperate for someone to tell them, what should I do with my life? If you're desperate for someone else to talk to you, there's something wrong. You should never be that desperate. What's going on in your mind? What's going on in your life? What's going on in your habits? You know what you need to do. That's the truth. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do laundry. You don't want to wake up early. You don't want to get a job. Guys, right now in the middle of the coronavirus, if you have the physical and mental ability, there's never been more employment opportunities. Why? Most people don't want, guys, most people who decide not to work, that can work, they're waiting for the next package, stimulus package. That means more opportunity for you. Seize the moment. So, have I ever been down to my last unemployment check? Yes. And I could tell you, desperate. Oh, you want to be desperate? Wait for your last unemployment check to come, and then you don't know where your next check's coming from. And you don't have a savings account. Desperation. Borrowing money from people you don't want to borrow money from. Don't be desperate. Be proactive. Get a job before you have to get a job. Get some stability, whether it's a home base or whatever, before you have to. But use the guidelines of living below your means, of only healthy relationships, of diversified economic investments or savings or whatever. And that way, if things fluctuate, because life always fluctuates, there's ups and downs, you're not desperate. Bryce, I have a brother who's 30 years old. He smokes weed, plays video games, and works, but barely chips in. My mom wants desperately to kick him out, but it's her son. Well, what I tell you, brother, is don't focus on him. Why? Because you're in a hospital right now. So don't focus on your mother. Don't focus on your weed head brother. Why? Because you're in the hospital. You know, when I got in the hospital, my mom and one of my sisters came to visit me. You know what I did? I thought about what I need to do for me. Okay. I didn't think about, oh, my sister's doing drugs, she borrowing money from here. I didn't think about, oh, my mom fed me fast food. I said, when I get out of here, I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to get my health together. I'm not coming over for Sunday dinners. I'm getting my shit together. So what I did, the best way to get your life together is focus on yourself. And that'll keep you busy the rest of your life. The most dangerous trap in the world is focusing on someone else. That's a troll. A troll is someone who has misdirected the energy they should be putting into their own life. They put it into someone else's. It's a bad way to live. And what I can tell you is there's always going to be people in your life that are doing things that are very destructive. However, as an adult, you get to choose how much time people have in your life, how much space, and how much energy you put into other people and you put into yourself. That's the beautiful part about being an adult. You say inspirational nomad, I hate getting old. I want to go back to being young, where I was watching cartoons, eating cereal. Well, I don't. Why? Because I don't want to depend on someone else to buy me cereal. I don't want to depend on someone else to tell me when I can come in the house, when I can't. I like to be an adult. No, I don't really like this world sometimes. I don't like some aspects of getting old. But to me, I don't like to be dependent on other people. Because that's desperation. Waiting for your mom. Oh, is she going to bring home ham and egg Hot Pockets or pepperoni Hot Pockets? I don't know. Waiting for your friends to come pick you up to the mall. Are they ever going to come? Fuck that. Focus on yourself. Like I say, most people are desperate. And it's like a vicious cycle. We ourselves are in a desperate state, and we're depending on other desperate people to save us. The blind leading the blind. Oh, Jesus. I know there's one girl that I was obsessed with. Really, she was desperate, but somehow I became more desperate than her. Have you ever seen two desperate people blame each other for their life? It's a disaster. It's a disaster. Worst thing you can be is desperate. Best thing you can be is proactive in improving your life. There's no planning in desperation. There's just reaction emotionally with no discipline. And it's not a good way to live, because there's enough losses in life. There's enough cracked phones. There's enough heartbreak. There's enough accidents. We don't need to live in a state of emergency. Like I often tell you guys, there's no way you're going to avoid emergencies. And I hate that, but try to mitigate them. But that's how you have an emergency fund. That's also why you don't live in this frantic, desperate state where emotionally, financially, every way, physically, that you're always in a state of emergency. The president is always saying we're in a state of emergency. If every day, all the time, we were always in a state of emergency, life would be, it is a horrible way to live. You got to bring some peace in your life. See, some people put no priority on peace, or they just don't know how to, or they're not willing to put effort into their own self rather than someone else. And those are my thoughts tonight. So thank you for watching. Coconuts, thank you again. For everything, Kathy, thank you. Bryce, thank you. Challenger the Welder, love to you. Coconuts, what are your goals? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I see myself in 5 years in having a level of sustainable investments that hopefully are yielding at least 25 grand a year. The YouTube channel hopefully is still supplemental, and hopefully, I don't know if it'd be at that point, but hopefully the YouTube channel will be around 20,000 a year. So now I'll be at 45,000. As long as I'm still able to work remotely, I hope I'm still doing my main IT job, building into my retirement and having health care. And by then, if those things are all clicking, then either I'll have a home base or I'll have more stability. Because by 45, I want to hopefully have a level of side hustle where there's a stability there. There's a 3 years of tax returns showing that I have a level of sustainable income, that it's pretty consistent. Now, anything can happen, but that's my goal. And then through that additional stability, then I would probably, maybe have an RV lot, have a small little Kia Soul, and I'll keep riding out the main job as long as it's not a major issue and I could work remote. And either my mom's living with me or I'm back and forth visiting my mom. And healthy. And I think that's it. Look, at this point, I got my health together. I got my mental game as best I can, my emotional. My main thing right now is sustaining my supplemental income and growing my investment, being consistent with my main job and having the flexibility, and then adding some stability in regards to a home base. And that's my focus. And God willing, by the time I'm 45, because I'm 40 now, by the time I'm 45, I will hopefully have anywhere between 30,000 to 50,000 a year, not in passive income per se, but in somewhat investable income. I'll still have hopefully career options depending on how I want to do that. I'll have grown my creative venture. I'll have a home base because I do want temperature control at a certain point, or RV. And we'll see. At that point, then I'll reevaluate and set more goals. When I reach a goal, I reevaluate and set more. And it's like when you don't know what to do, go for a walk. Why? Because when you go for a walk, the next thing is shown to you. So it's like, if you don't know what next goal, focus on your current goals. And then when you get to your current goal and you keep taking care of yourself, you'll figure out your next goal. But focus. Don't obsess, but focus. I'm not obsessed with retiring early. If I don't retire early, I keep my job, whether YouTube, Doordash, investment. If my investments don't work out, I'll keep doing YouTube. I'll keep doing my main job. If YouTube don't work out, I'll keep doing my main job. I'll keep doing Doordash. If a home base don't work out, okay, I still got this. I'll do maybe a small travel trailer. If this car breaks down, okay, then I get a Kia Soul. I'll do things in a manner that I'm not dependent on one thing, okay, so that I don't live in this desperate state. And I know, one thing I know for sure is I cannot plan out the next 5 years and say this is exactly what's going to happen. But I can look at my past years and says this what has happened. I can look at my past years of tax returns and saying this is what this taught me, okay. I can keep trying something until I get better, but making incremental adjustments. And so I look at my history, I look at my future, I focus on my present. Like even now, in the midst of some of my final goals, I still enjoy each day the best. I'm still in Florida before the vaccine. I'm still, I still try to get to the beach once a day. I'm still in the area I want to be. I'm still doing the things I want to do to meet those goals, form another goal. It's good to have options. And it's good to stay flexible. And it's good to have some stability. And so I will figure out how to add some stability while keeping a lot of flexibility. I will continue to use my prime working years, my 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, or prime working years, to build up my Social Security, to build up my retirement funds, okay? And to utilize my health in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Because in your 60s, 70s, 80s, your health, your knees all go down. Okay? So I'm going to use everything that I have. And I'm going to make the most of my life, day by day, step by step. And that's kind of my mindset. Good question. Where are we at? Coconuts gave me a thumbs up. Thank you, brother, for the encouragement. And muscle emoji. Thank you. Coconuts. Does your mom like it? Like what? What were you asking about? Maybe I'll start going into a rant. Does my mom like Florida? I think she was here when she was younger. She doesn't really remember it. She would like Florida. I would say maybe, but I think she'd probably like the Jersey Shore more. So, and I think with her doctors there and everything, I don't think she would like Florida as much as me. I think she would like it for a few months out of the year. So even if she came with me, as long as she wasn't like in need of someone living with her, I think she would probably come with me for 3 months and then go back up to Jersey Shore. Now, if she ever got to the point where she needed a live-in assistant and she wanted to live with me, because again, I know my mom wants to be independent. Whether she wanted to be independent, whether she couldn't live with someone and she wanted to live with one of her kids. Because guys, if I had kids, I may want to go in a home, not live with my kids. I don't know what she'll want to do. But if she needs someone to live with, and I told her even now, she'll come live with me, but it's going to be in Florida. Why? Because I'm not moving to New Jersey. I'll go there in the summer and the fall, but not in the winter. So why? Because for me, I'll be, unless there was an emergency. So again, I'll go there in an emergency, but we're not going to live in a state of emergency. Because if we live in a state of emergency, I'm not a good caretaker. I'm not in a good space. And then you need a caretaker to take care of the caretaker. And that's bad stuff. Good question, Kathy. Whenever I'm stressed, I go for a walk. Well, that's a great start. Always feel better after that. I don't know why you wouldn't. You get your blood flowing. You get your mental health in a better state. You get focused on your next step. And it's always good. A body in motion stays in motion. Great job, Coconuts. Do you ever visit other parts of Florida, or do you just stay on the East Coast? Well, I did when I first came. I traveled all around Florida. I did videos about it. West Coast, I went to Naples, Fort Myers, Tampa. I've been on the north side. I went through Central Florida. I never went to the Panhandle side, but I visited enough to know what parts I like best. So there may be times where I take a couple trips just to make some videos, but I really don't desire it. I didn't even I deleted some guy's comment today. He goes, I prefer the west coast of Florida. I didn't block him, but I deleted him. Why? I didn't ask you that. Okay. So I don't care if you like the west coast. That's great. Well, why, I'm not talking about you, Coconuts, but I'm talking about some people. He's never going to get to the west coast of Florida. Never. Because his whole life is living through other people. Bryce, I like that answer. Focused on yourself, how you become so diligent in blocking negative energy from family. Amen. Guys, whether it's people online, people you know all your life, you got to have boundaries. You got to have protocol. You got to have a discernment for negative toxic energy. And you got to have accountability. If you're blaming your sister, your brother, your mother for your life, that's redirected energy that you should be focusing into your own life. Because guess what, guys? We're adults now. Even if we didn't want to be born. And sometimes I wish I wasn't. Nothing we could do. Okay. So now we got to make the most of our life. Good job. Coconuts. That's a good point. A lot of people live through other people. Most people. I think most people are desperate. I think most people are broke financially. I think most people are bankrupt emotionally. I think most people physically are suffering. I think society's desperate. I do. What else do I think? I think I sacrifice to meet my goals. I think I'm willing to change friends to change my emotional health. I think I'm willing to change my number to remove toxic people. I think I'm willing to work to provide an income. What are you willing to do to change your life? That's a general statement, not directed at anyone. Because until you get to that point, guys, it's a hope and a prayer. Oh, I hope I go viral on YouTube. Oh, I hope this happens. I hope I hit the lottery. Guys, that's a desperate way to live. That's a state of emergency. Now, look, I've been there. And what I can tell you is you don't want to stay there. Okay, good job. Coconuts, live your dream. Don't let someone else live your dream. Amen, says the Yacht Club. Focus. Well, I like that tag name. $4.99 super chat. Damn it, brother. Thank you. You're stuck on a deserted, this is an interesting question. You're stuck on a deserted island, and you can only take 3 things. What would they be? Good question. Love your tag name. My cell phone, number 1. My cell phone charger, number 2. Why? They're the most important assets you have in your life. And number 3, my car. Why? Mobility is help you to at least drive around the island. Uh, but if I didn't have my car, then I'll replace that with a boat. Why? So I get the hell off that island. But the number one thing I would have is a cell phone. Number one. And then the number two is a cell phone charger. Why? That's your way of communicating. Your cell phone is your greatest investment. $1,000 is cheap to spend on your cell phone. $1,000 cheap. The best money you ever spend is your cell phone. You know, look, maybe in 100 years from now, it's a chip in your brain, but right now it's a cell phone. Number one thing is I need a cell phone. You say inspirational nomad, what about the Bible? The Bible's got an app. Okay. You say inspirational nomad, guys, the phone's got your banking account. You can Doordash on that island. You can watch porn. Cell phone charger. And then some transportation, whether it's a car or a boat, and I prefer a car. But that's why I don't go to Hawaii. Some people say, why don't you go to Hawaii? Because I don't want to be on the island. Okay. I want to be able to go on I-95 up and down the coast. Okay. I don't like islands. But if I went, I want to be able to get off it. That's a great question. When you're stranded, and look, if you're on an island like Tom Hanks in the movie, what was that movie he was in? Where he was stranded on an island, desperate. When you're on an island, you need, okay, the ability to communicate. You need the ability to get information. And that's, again, your greatest asset in today's society is your cell phone. Your cell phone could be looked up to used to read any book. You can manage your bank account. You can manage your investments. You can make emotional connections. You can read about emotional health. You can see therapists. You have a doctor's appointment. You can do a virtual appointment. We are blessed to live in 2020. If Focus would have asked me that question in 1920, what would I have said if I'm on an island? I'll take a lantern, like a lantern would be like a light. I'll take a shovel so I could dig some shit. Okay. And, you know, I don't know what else I would take. A hammer. Why? Because I got a hammer, I got a shovel, and I got a lantern. That's what they would do 100 years ago. Today, give me a cell phone. Give me a cell phone charger, and then give me some type of transportation. Always adapt to the times. You see how 100 years change everything? In 100 years from now, guys, I may say, give me a chip in my brain. Okay. Give me the alien ship. Okay. Give me my robot wife. Oh, what type of world? It's going to be a great world when you can marry a robot, man or woman, or transgender. Or maybe you like all three. You can change your robot into a man, woman, transgender. The future's bright. All right, let's continue. Good question. Coconuts, did you ever do something that wasn't planned out? Yes, and usually I suffered for it. It's good to be spontaneous. Definitely good to be that way. But even spontaneity needs a level of planning. Now, I'm not talking about anal retention, but you gotta have some. Like it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to Florida. I'm not gonna look at the weather forecast, and it's a hurricane coming. You say, oh, I'm gonna go on a date, and you don't know if it's a man, woman, or transgender. You say, oh, I'm gonna drive my car, and I'm not gonna look at the gas tank. Everything, even spontaneous things, require a level of planning, a level of research. You say, oh, I'm going to buy a penny stock and not look at anything. Oh, Jesus. Okay. But we all been there. How do you learn? You fail. How do you learn? You fail. How do you get better? You try to learn progressively through failure. You try to get incrementally better and you take some steps back. Good question. Coconuts. No Wi-Fi on an island. Coconuts, you're right. At least we'll have the screenshots of the girls that we stalked on Instagram. So it's not a total loss. Coconuts. I would take a woman on the island. Coconuts. Even on the island, brother. You think about that coochie. I ain't mad you. I ain't mad. Guys, there was one of my, you say, inspirational nomad, what's your favorite commercial? Cedric the Entertainer, a comedian, the Cedric the Entertainer. There was a Budweiser commercial. Look it up on YouTube. In early 2000s or 1990s. Bud Light commercial. Cedric the Entertainer. Super Bowl commercial. And it goes, what's your dream life? And he sees himself on an island with two beautiful girls drinking a Bud Light. And that was his dream. And then the reality was the girls started asking him, oh, are you going to build a hut? Oh, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And then he said, oh shit, I don't want this. And then he snapped his finger and goes, this is my new dream. And then the girls disappeared. He got a dog, he got his Bud Light, and he was happy. So what I'll tell you is this. Be careful what you ask for. You just may get it. You're so desperate to be in a relationship with someone. Be careful what you ask for. You just may get it. I remember a guy in church. He struggled. He was desperate for some pussy. He finally got it, but I think he paid a price. But I remember he used to tell me all the time. He goes, Sam, what's the worst thing a girl can say to you? And of course, like, the common answer is, well, she can say no. And he goes, nah. The worst thing she can say is yes, because then you got to take care of her. And same thing for a woman, because my women now, they're independent. They're making great money. They got every opportunity in the world, and that's good. Why you need a man to slow you down? Right now, you don't even need a man to have kids. You can go. You can pick the child you want. Why would you have a child with a short psychopath? You can go to like the fertile clinic and you can say, give me a tall guy with a nice ass that, whatever. Now you got a kid that's perfect genetics. But for me, don't bring another child into this world. Why? Because if you got high anxiety, the last thing you need is a child, in my opinion. Coconut says, nothing feels better than sex. I disagree. Nothing feels better than seeing my investments go up, my health maintained, a sunny day in Florida, and any type of porn I want to look. That's the best day for me. But everyone's different. Coconuts. What makes you feel best? Yeah, I just broke it down. See, I thought about that right away. I want to see the money bag go up. I want to see my health sustained. I want to see sun, fun, G-strings, and I want to see any type of porn I want. Why? Because that's the life I'm living. Custom laugh on the ground emoji. All right, guys. What are we going to do next? We're going to get off the stage. Why? Because when the energy's gone, let it go. Desperate people keep performing even when the energy's gone. And that's when the Sandman comes on Apollo and yanks you off stage because you didn't know when to get off the stage. Coconuts, yes, son, money bag, money bag. Guys, let me tell you something. I'm going to give you a sneak preview. Anyone still left in the live chat, you got some insight here. You got tomorrow's live feed, direct deposit day. There's no better day in the world than direct deposit day, and that's what tomorrow is for me, at least. And so what I can tell you is this: if you're fortunate enough to live long enough to get a direct deposit, it's a blessing from the Lord. Now, if you get a direct deposit from your main job, from your side job, then it's a blessing to have 2 direct deposits in 1 week. Never wait. If you have the physical and mental ability, never wait for a stimulus direct deposit. Why? They're going to keep you strung along. Like, guys, when you're desperate for someone to text you, you're going to be looking at your phone all a long time. And when you're desperate for Congress to pass another stimulus, you're going to be waiting a long time. You're going to get it, but you're going to get it up the ass. If you got the physical and mental ability, not if you're a senior, not if you're disabled, if you got the physical and mental ability, go out there and get that money. Go out there and be productive. Why? What's the alternative? Waiting for someone else desperate? Hell no. Don't wait for anyone, guys and girls and transgenders. Don't wait for anyone. I saw a transgender working at Starbucks today. Dude had eyeliner, he had tight jeans. He was out there making his money. Okay? He wasn't that good of a... Guys, the damn coronavirus screwed us. Why? All the good-looking baristas, they're collecting, extended unemployment benefits. And all the psychopaths are now baristas. Damn it. Fucking, I blame Trump, man. All the good baristas, they're sitting there, they're collecting, 12 months of unemployment. And I don't know where they got this next bunch of people, but they ain't qualified to be baristas, in my opinion. But I give them credit for working. But I tell you, it's hard times, guys. There's a shortage, a supply shortage and a labor shortage. I'll tell you right now, if you want to get a job, you get one like this. There's no one working. There's no one working, guys. It's a disaster out here. Okay? We need help. Coconuts, yeah, I like that money bag. Yeah. Coconuts is payday on Friday, every other Friday, for the main job, once a month for YouTube. YouTube, you get your once a month direct deposit on the 21st or the next work day. For my main job, every 2 weeks on Friday. If I did Doordash still, every Tuesday. Okay. I'll tell you right now, if you can't name 3 times you'll get a direct deposit from different source of income, you got to keep looking. Okay. Now, you can say, I get my dividend check once a quarter. You can say, I look at my day trades every day. Well, I'm just saying, the best day trade sometimes is waiting for a better opportunity. Okay. So just always be patient, because the impatient person, desperate, you're going to lose money. I did that. Coconuts. Kathy's laughing good. Laughter is good for the soul. When you're laughing, you're not desperate. Go get it. Because they want everyone to spend their money on the weekends, not save. I lived that life. I told you guys, I've been a loser. I've lived desperate, and I don't want to go back if I can help it. Upscale. Upscale, what's up, brother? Direct deposit. Upscale, I know you had a tough week, brother, but I also know that you're a fighter. Okay? I also know that you got a great savings account. So what does that show me? You're a smart guy. Okay? Good guy. Okay? Try to help other people. Sometimes you feel like no one's trying to help you. I understand. And that's why I tell you, brother, every time you get depressed, Upscale, I hope you're in here tonight. Every time you get depressed, I want you to go in back of your Class C and put up your curtains. And I want you to go to your phone. Because if I was on an island, what would I want on my phone? I want you to go to your cell phone, brother, and I want you to log into your savings account. And I want you to look at it. That's all. Thank you, Lord. And I just want you to get encouraged. Then I want you to go watch some porn. Because Upscale, you got a fully self-contained Class C. You got no debt. You got a good savings account. Even if you lose your job, you're not desperate. You got a house on wheels. You got a good trade. You know, a good career. You got it made, brother. You in South Florida. You can go to the West Coast of Florida. You can go to Panhandle. You can go to South Carolina. I know you like Carolinas. I don't like Carolinas. But who am I? Guy, Upscale. Upscale, you hear me tonight? You're not desperate. Oh, I hope that makes you happy because I'm getting happy just thinking about it for you. I'm happy for other people. Kathy, ooh, I like those money bags. Damn it, I get happy when I see that. My favorite emoji is the money bag. Bryce, how much can you make Doordash? In South Florida, if you did it as a full-time job, I would say minimum $500 per week. Okay, that's $2,000 per month. I would say if you really hustled it, you could probably make $1,000 a week. And you got to deduct 30% for gas and wear and tear. So if you made $1,000 a week, that's really hustling. Maybe 7 days a week, that's $700 clear. If you made $500, that's $350 a week clear, and you maybe a little bit more. So South Florida, if you hustle, it's a go. East Coast style. Good question. How much can you make? I read that. In Florida, currently, I see a lot of $3 orders. Don't worry about the orders. Worry about consistency. I can't tell you how many psychopaths told me, oh, I got the DoorDash bag. I got the DoorDash red card. And what they do? They did a couple dashes. I ain't heard some from them since. Okay. So what I can tell you is this. Even if you got the Robinhood app and your stocks are up 200% DoorDash full time. Why? Keep consistency. Consistency grows the money bag. Consistency grows the health. You say, Inspirational Nomad, I ate salads all week. Now it's the weekend. I'm going to go to the Mexican spot and just eat my fat ass. I say, you're going to destroy your health. I'm not saying you can't have a treat. You can't enjoy the fruits of your labor. I'm saying you got to keep a level of, consistency. Why? Because the opposite of that is a desperate person going from one high to the other. Good question. Upscale. Yeah, man, life's good. You're doing a good job. And I believe me, I got issues. Yep, but you also got blessings. So what I'll tell you this, Upscale, I empathize with everyone out there. Bryce is in the hospital. Bryce got issues. However, Bryce getting out on Saturday. So Bryce, every time you get depressed, I want you to think about, and I know you've seen them, there's some people in the hospital that you know ain't getting out and that are going to be in there a long time. I want you to thank God for that you're getting out Saturday. And Upscale, just like me, there's times in the day where I hate life, but I also want you to remember all your blessings. Coconuts, you in the east side of Manhattan, you live in a dream, brother. Kathy, sounds like you understand what you need to do for your best life. And just understanding is half the battle. Look, there's no doubt about it. We all got our issues. I agree. But let's also say we all got our blessings. And let's focus on the good and mitigate the bad. Okay. When you take a loss, take it. Take it like a man, take it like a woman, take it like a transgender. And then move on. Focus on the good, not on the bad. Why? Because a psychopath focuses on the bad. A psychopath focuses on horror movies. And that's why their mental health. Guys, I was watching interviews of Reggie Wright Jr. talking about like the Tupac shooting in the death row days. And when I was sleeping last night, I was dreaming that I was in the death row days. I can't go back to that. I gotta watch healthy things at the end of the night. Positive things. Focus on the good, not the bad. Good job. Coconuts. If you were rich, would you sit on the beach every day? Well, I'm pretty close to that, but I would still, it depends level of rich. Okay, if you say unlimited wealth, well, I'll never have to work guaranteed because I got multi-millions. I would be on the beach every day. Yes, but I would not sit on the beach all day, every day. Why? Because I've learned, and I'm at a level of financial independence that if I wanted to, I could take off a year and do nothing. But that's unhealthy for me. So for me, I've learned, and that's why I consider myself blessed, basically having to work my way up, live my way up, is that I know that I have to keep a certain routine of health and habits and flexibility and not be rigid in my routine, that I stay in motion. Now, maybe I don't go to work and maybe I fill that time with more beach time, but I'm still doing something. And like you said, well, what is it? Well, I tell you, when I get to a goal, then I evaluate and I set another goal. So, it's like you don't have to know everything. What you have to know is what's your focus on your next goal. Then when you get to your next goal, if you did it the right way, because do everything in order, and you build healthy habits. Like, guys, even when you're in debt, the first step should be to get an emergency fund. So it's like then when you get an emergency savings account, when you pay off your first debt, what do you do next? You pay off your next debt. Then when you're out of debt, what do you do next? You stay out of debt. So it's like, guys, I'm already at the beach. I already go to the beach every day. So if I was a multi-millionaire and I never had to work, I would still do what I'm doing now, maybe a little bit more at the beach, but I would still wake up early. I would still go to the gym. Like, no matter how wealthy you get, you still have to work out. Even if you get plastic surgery, that doesn't affect your health, that affects your looks. So every day I would wake up early. Why? For my mental health and my physical health. Every day I would go to gym, and I'll probably be in great shape. If I knew I didn't have to work, and all I had to do was work out and be at the beach and maybe do YouTube if I wanted, guys, I'd be fucking built, man. Okay? And I may spend a little bit more time. Maybe I'll do some charity type thing. Because I already did charity. I already had nonprofit. I already helped the homeless. I already helped the destitute. I already did ministry in the jails and all that. So to me, I have an understanding through my experiences. And now I wouldn't be doing those things desperate. I would be doing those things in ease. Because now I'm doing things in order. I was trying to save the world before I saved myself. I had a nonprofit before I was out of debt. I had to refocus my life. A desperate person can't help other desperate people. It's true. Let's go back to outcomes. Coconuts. It seems like you figured out life. Well, every day I still hate life, son. At a young age, you were very smart. Well, I'm grateful that at a young age, I experienced many things, and I'm grateful for that. I don't feel like I know it all. I do feel like I have a level of insight, wisdom, some God-given, some through experience, some through work. And I believe that's my gift of being able to share that, and I have a little bit of flair for it. So that's why this is one avenue that came into the realm of what am I going to do with some of my free time. Because when I sold my house and I got more free time, I didn't sit on more of my fat ass. I picked up another side hustle. Guys, if I really want to, I don't have to do YouTube. Okay. But I want to do it because it is a gift. I can make extra money and that can help me in my other goals. Okay. But if I really got frustrated, I don't have to do it. Okay. So, but it's something that keeps me, I didn't have to do Doordash. But if I get laid off, if I became destitute, I had another hustle. And it kept me doing something productive. And it taught me about all the roads of South Florida. I know all the streets, basically. And it helped me explore the area. So I know bottom line, this is what you do when you're totally lost. Don't be idle. Idle time's the devil's playground. And don't waste your energy on toxic people. Use your energy for yourself and other people trying to help themselves. Good job. Coconuts, what's your favorite snack? Good question. I used to say skinny popcorn. I chipped my tooth. Now I think it's Satan. So, well, every day I got to have Starbucks. I like to have a bagel in the afternoon. My favorite snack right now is coconut shrimp. With hot plant-based chips. Yeah, that's true. I usually have that a couple times a week, coconut shrimp. But I love my Starbucks, guys. That's that's my go-to. In the morning, and I just have a small cup with no sugar, just soy milk. When I have a small cup of coffee in the morning and 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and I sit back and I have my protein bar, my bagel, and I look at some things on YouTube and I realize I'm very grateful. What protein bar do I eat? I'll show you. Always prepare your breakfast the day before. Why? Because if you wake up and you don't have breakfast prepared, you're going to be desperate. You're going to be at Dunkin' Donuts ordering a bagel with cream cheese. Oh, you desperate fat ass. Very desperate. Hold on, brother. Hold on, coconuts. Coconuts keep everyone in the live chat busy while I look for my bar. I'm counting on you, coconuts. Keep the live chat busy. Coconuts. This is what I had. This is my protein bar. $2.69. Okay. It's a one. See, because the coconuts, brother. You see that says coconuts. Coconut's my favorite. Coconut shrimp and coconut protein bar. Coconut and almonds, brother. 1 gram of sugar. It's got 230 calories. It's got a little bit of it's got a little bit of saturated fat. Coconut says I like cream cheese bagel once in a while. I'm not mad at that. I get a bagel with butter on it. Now you can put avocado on that bagel. That's a little healthier. But I used to like that too. Thank you, coconuts. I like coconuts, man. I'm doing the best I can every day. Pushing forward. Showing up. You say inspirational nomad, I don't want to go to work. Well, I'll tell you this, I don't want to go a week without a direct deposit. Tomorrow's direct deposit day. I'm getting a hard on right now. You say inspirational nomad, what motivates you? One thing is the money back in a healthy way. I don't know why you wouldn't be inspired to work and get money. Okay. Why? Because that's the opposite of being desperate. I like it. Where do you buy that? I bought that at Publix. Just about every store sells them. I got them at ShopRite when I was up north. Kathy, what is your favorite drink in Starbucks? I just get one drink every day, same thing, a tall pike coffee with soy milk. I don't get any of those sugary drinks. Once in a while at Wawa, maybe I'll get like a small Thai, latte. But for me, I really don't like those, too much sugar in them. I try to stay away from them, even though I know they're yummy. I just get a tall pike with soy milk, and I have my protein bar, or in the afternoon, I have my bagel. You got to be careful with those Starbucks, those Dunkin' Donuts, like slushy drinks. They got a lot of sugar. And if you get the whipped cream, I know they're good and all that, but they're going to make you fat. Okay. And I'll tell you, that ain't easy. Oh, Big Plan Dan. Damn it, man. This is my first time ever seeing you in here. I didn't even know you were a member. You changed your profile name? I like the name. Big Plan Dan. I like that, man. He's a new member, I guess, so he changed his profile. Wait a minute. Old Gringo, is that you? Amazon. Amazon carries those protein bars, $24.99 for a dozen. Well, if I get a home base, I'm going to buy me some. But right now, I live in my car. I have for 4 years because I'm sacrificing to meet my goals. And I don't buy anything in bulk. Why? Because if I put 24 bars in my car in South Florida, those bars would be liquid butter. They would melt. Also, I don't want bugs. And if you store food in your car, you're going to get bugs, even in a wrap in Florida. So what I've learned, only buy your food day by day. Be very efficient when you live in a car. Now, if I buy a home base, I'm going to take your advice, brother, and I'm going to buy me a dozen for $24.99. And I'll put them in the refrigerator because I like them a little chilly. But right now, I'm sacrificing to meet my goals, brother. So I want to say, praise the Lord. Why? Because tomorrow's direct deposit day. And every day without a mortgage, every day without rent is a blessing from the Lord. Formerly Pacific Railroad history. I don't even remember that. Is that is that Dylan? Dylan, is that you? I see you got the West Coast Asian symbol. That Asian symbol, I think that's the yin and yang that's balanced. I dated Asian MILF. I remember that. Yep, she was way out of balance, but she was following Buddha. Okay, I don't know. She had a Buddha statue. Buddha is the chubby guy who was like, he did a new member. Amen. Praise the Lord, Big Plan Dan. I like that name, man. But are you Asian, brother? Not that it matters, but I remember I dated this Asian MILF, and she had a lot of Buddha stuff. I dated a Christian girl too. She had a lot of Jesus stuff. She was Satan. Guys, I don't believe in it. It's crazy. Let's stay positive. Coconuts, I'm ordering those bars now. They're good, man. Don't have more than 1 or 2 a day because they got a little bit of saturated fat in them. Big Plan Dan, man. I love that name, man. Great to have you. Thank you for being a member, bro. Thank you for the comment. If I had a home base, I'd like to put my chocolate in the refrigerator. I will buy 12 of those bars. That's what I'm going to do. If you guys are still with me in a couple years, and if I find the right home base, and if I'm still in line with meeting my goals, because I'll buy a home base as long as I know it's within my means, it's RV, like I got flexibility, I don't have a lot of liability, and I could add some stability, I'll be able to be doing live feeds from my robe in temperature controlled with 12 coconut bars in a thing. And I can tell you this, guys, we're going to have a lot of fun. My lighting is going to be better. Everything. Now, you going to say inspirational nomad like when you was in a car, when you was in a gas station sweating, cursing. Guys, everyone likes, Nas' first album, but I got to grow. You know what I mean? I got to, evolve. Coconuts. I like heating the bar up, really? With a banana in the microwave. Well, coconuts, man, me and you, brother, we on the same page, man. Why are we on the same page, brother? You know what I eat with that protein bar? Oh, banana, man. I like banana and coconut and chocolate, man. Me and you on the same page, man. Thank you again, man. Big Plan Dan, great to see you, coconuts. My man Upscale Kathy, Challenger the Welder, thank you again. A lot of great people in here. I'm very grateful for all of you. Focus, thank you for that super chat, too. Bryce, man. I'm praying for you every day, man. Once you get you out of that hospital, man. Coconuts. If you had a van, you could have a small kitchen. Yeah, that's true, but I'd still be in a gas station. Okay. So you say inspirational nomad, if you lived in a van, you'd have a lot more comfort. Yeah, but I still need a place to park. So to me, why waste the money on a van? If I'm going to spend $30,000 on a new van or $10,000 on a clunker, I'd rather put that towards a home base with an RV lot with a travel trailer. So why? Because the reason I lived in my car was for the flexibility and the cutting of expense. Flexibility to get out of New Jersey, or definitely in the winter, and mainly live in Florida. Now, the only reason I still want to be on wheels is because if a hurricane comes, I want to be able to tow my house off the RV lot. But outside of that, 90% of the time, I fulfilled the goal. One of my goals was to become a Floridian. I did that. I'm registered in Florida. To spend most of my time in Florida, and I did that, with the exception of the coronavirus, because that was a state of emergency. I don't live in a state of emergency. I came back to Florida. And two is, I'm only going to leave Florida if I need to visit my mom or to get out of the heat maybe in August or September. So for me, my next step now is continue to grow revenue, look for some stability within my means, and live the dream. Do a live feed in my robe, fucking like this, okay? And if coconuts prophecy come true, if I become totally financially independent where I never have to work, guys and girls, I'm going to be in good shape because I got more time for the gym. And I'll tell you right now, when you're in good shape, you get more people watching you. I already got a lot of people want to get with me. So imagine I'm in great shape. Guys, it only gets better. It only gets better. I'm like fine wine, man. I only get better. Let's take out this drink. Tomorrow is direct deposit day. Praise the Lord. Upscale. Coconuts. That's my favorite chocolate. Yeah, I like coconut and banana. Me too, brother. Coconuts. Yes, you are right. RV lot is the way to go for me. Now, you say inspirational nomad. I want to go to Canada. I want to go to the Pacific Northwest. I want to go to Texas. All those are great places per se. I don't. Okay, maybe. And if I do, I will take a trip, but I know I want to come back to Florida. Why? And I want to come back to the East Coast. I don't want to go back to the West Coast of Florida. Why? I like the vibe of the East Coast. I'm an East Coast guy. I'm a Southeast guy. Okay. Like, I knew this Asian MILF, something in the culture, I mean, they had the front door, I forgot what they call it, like feng shui or something. All the plants had to be real. You couldn't have like a plastic rose. The feng shui or something was messed up. And like the door had to be facing a certain direction. I don't know if it was east or whatever. In Islam, Muslims, you got to pray to the east. Okay. And so like in the Asian culture or whatever, I don't know why, but you, like for good luck, you want the door facing a certain direction. Guys, every religion, every culture, like if you're Catholic and you sell your house, you bury St. Peter upside down backwards in your backyard. Guys, every religion is like OCD. They got superstitions, okay? Jesus said when you pray once, don't worry about the rest. That's what I do. I say a prayer, I say, Lord, I'm mad at life, but just help me out. I love you. I'm thankful for what I have. And that's it. I can't figure it all out. I can't tap my thing 3 times and smack a bit and I can't do all this shit. I can't worry about it. Now, look, when I get my home base, oh, shit, Pluto, get your ass out of Pennsylvania, brother. Pluto, my son, hey, now you in California. Nah, that must have been wrong. I thought you were in Reading, Pennsylvania. From Reading, California. When'd you go there? We'll be moving. Oh, okay, yeah, praise the Lord. We'll be moving to California. We'll be moving to California next week if it wasn't for you. Good job, brother. Your life doesn't get better unless you focus and make decisions. Good job. I would not been able to do these journeys. Well, brother, you did it. Okay? Because I want you to know that I may have sparked you, but a spark plug only starts the engine. The engine keeps running on its own. So you may hate me in 2 months, and what I want you to do is I want you to say, that's okay, because I was only meant to be a spark, not your permanent dependency. I love you. I pray that we know each other for a long time, but I want you to know that you did it, okay? Because you made the decision. I didn't make it for you. Because you guys know, if you leave it up to me, I'll give everyone a vasectomy. I'll give everyone universal health care. And I'll give everyone, whatever they want. Because, guys, I'm a giver, not a taker. However, guys, all we can do is focus on what we can control. That's the prayer of serenity. And Pluto, you focused on what you can control. And brother, let me tell you something. I know sometimes you don't think well of yourself. At least this is my opinion. And what I can tell you, I see the way you type your comments. I see the type of mindset you got. You're a positive person. You got more intelligence than you give yourself credit for. Don't let anyone, including yourself, tell you that you don't have what it takes to do great things. You're smart. You can do any job. Okay. And you can live without your relatives. And you're going to fail. And guess what? You can pick yourself back up. And if it's an emergency, you can go live with family for help, or you can go live with friends. But guess what? We don't live in a state of emergency. When there's a coronavirus, guys, I went back to my mom's house. Why? We're in a national emergency. Guys, we ain't in a national emergency anymore. You can't live in an emergency. You can't live in desperation. Don't sell yourself short, brother. You're very smart. You can do a lot of things with your life. I see a lot of people, look, they may not be rocket scientists, but they can do a lot of things. Like I say, I see this one guy, he's got a mental disability. I know he does, but he's a great mechanic, but he doesn't put the work into his life. He should be maximizing his talents. Some people are great massage therapists, but they're collecting extended unemployment benefits. They should be given 2 back rubs a day and a hand job to Bob Kraft. It's still a disgrace what they did to those Asian masseuse down in Jupiter, Florida, when Bob Kraft got a blowjob and they got, like I said, a disgrace. Bob Kraft got away and they got deported. That was a disgrace. But I digress. I give you a live feed from that. Guys, I don't know if you were watching. I broadcasted live from outside the massage spot. Okay? I don't know who else giving you this type of stuff. Coconuts, I don't think you remember it. I didn't even have memberships at the time. Coconuts, do you know? I showed up every day, including the day Bob Kraft got arrested. He's the owner of the Patriots when he got a hand job down in Jupiter, Florida, at an Asian massage parlor. I broadcasted right outside the Asian massage parlor. Every day I go live on this channel. Whether it's a massage parlor, whether it's a gas station, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a coronavirus outbreak, that's consistency. That's not desperation. Okay. I see some people they disappear for 5 months and then they come back on YouTube. They're desperate. Okay. Their whole life is just, I had to take a break. You got to take a break? You wasn't putting that much effort in when you was doing it. But guys, I always tell you, Pluto, 199 super chat. One day at a time, I got that tattooed. Self-care and self-control. You figured out life. Coconuts told me I figured out life. Brother, you figured out life. Now, you're still going to have bad days. You're still going to hate life. But if you go by that as your foundation, you'll do better in life. There's still some suffering. Thank you, Pluto. Thank you. You get life. And I remember when I had that bad day in Jersey, you said, Sam, self-control, because it helped you not beat up your brother or get in a fight with your brother. And I had to remember that myself, but I had some bad days. I suffered. But I made it through. I didn't lose my cool. And you can do it, Pluto. You can do it. You got to separate. I believe, guys, that I think we all have different talents. And some people are more talented than others. Some people are richer than others. But I am such a firm believer that if you just put yourself in the game, if you just put yourself at your job, if you just put yourself in a video, and if you just put yourself in the gym, and you just keep doing that, you're going to get ahead by default. Because most people are not consistently putting themselves in a position of productivity, of activity. They're put themselves in a position of idleness, of sleeping, of rolling over, of going to the kitchen, of going down. Guys, might as well be dead. Coconuts. Do you read the Bible? I read the Bible several times, back and forth, up and down. And now I just have a couple scriptures and the general philosophy memorized in my mind. And I got it on my phone if I need to look it up. And I believe in some parts. I don't believe in others. It was put together by man, by the Catholic Church to be exactly. And Jesus was asked to summarize the Bible. He goes, look, treat people basically how you want to be treated. But what was Jesus's last words, or one of them? God, why'd you forsake me? So even Jesus at the end said, look, I don't know. What about the Old Testament? What about the Torah? Guys, in the book of Ecclesiastes, it basically said God dealt us a bad hand. And the reason that we're all screwed is because Adam and Eve ate the apple. Now the earth is cursed. And it also says, okay, that gluttony is a sin, being obese is a sin. Okay, a lot of stuff is a sin. Some stuff punishable by death. And the people who were telling you this had other people killed so they could fuck their wife. King David had one of his army soldiers killed so he could fuck his wife. He wrote several books in the Bible. So am I going to listen to a guy who says you can't be gay, you can't trim your beard, you can't worship an idol, but I can go kill someone else, fuck their wife, and I tell you what God said? You know what I tell him? Go fuck yourself. Okay, I'll figure it out myself. Now, I'll take the good parts, but I'm going to leave the bad. Okay, I'll think for myself. Good job. Go guys. A lot of people need a push to do what they really want to do and are meant to do in this crazy world. Well, I agree with that. Look, the Ultimate Warrior, other people online inspired me. And then when they stopped inspiring me, I found someone else, or I found myself. So like I say, use people as a spark plug just to start your engine. Don't use people in a desperate way where they got to be your engine. Big difference. Good job. All right, guys and girls, thank you. Coconuts, I thank you for everything, brother. You're a great person. Pluto, thank you so much, brother. I believe in you, Pluto. I believe in you. Good man. Big Plan Dan. Love that name. Kathy, so strong tonight. Thank you, Kathy. My man, Upscale, you're doing great, brother. You're doing great. You're doing a great job. Focus. Thank you. Bryce, we're praying for you. You can get your health together. You can restart your life, brother. Use this as a restart. Challenger the Welder, thank you. Thank you to everyone out there. I have gratitude. Do the best you can. One day at a time. You're one day closer to death. And so just make the most of your life. Coconuts, drop the mic. Fire emoji. Thank you, brother. God bless. Thank you. Peace.